Hello and welcome to Flory Models Friday Roundup Show. Here we are with you on the 26th of August 2022, the beginning of a bank holiday if you're in the UK, and don't forget we are live with you all day tomorrow, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Anyway, this week, as you can probably tell by everything that's around me here, it has been crazy busy. Not only were we carrying on beginning of the week with the Lancaster, so the wash on is on and off and looking really nice going through, but we've done a ton of reviews which we'll talk about as well, plus the fact all the other bits and pieces, and I have started on the Sky Raider as well. So this week has been one of those ones where it's just been head down, getting on with it, filming, and then obviously we stick in a load of editing in amongst it and get the shows out to you. So pretty much full on week. Anyway, all started on Monday, where we had next part of the Lancaster that as this one went up. And on here, we were talking obviously about decaling, getting those down and getting those all in the right place and everything else. And again, we put it all together just to mock it up. And as we know, the great thing about this kit is you can pop the wings off and have no problem at all. So anyway, we've got all of those in place. Very nice they are too. And we were talking about limiting silvering at the end of the day, because let's face it, 9 times out of 10, if you're going to have a problem with decals, it's going to be when they're dry and you've got some silvering in there and you're trying to chase your tail with it. My one piece of advice with this is to gloss coat anything that you're going to paint black or a really dark colour, purely because you want to give it the best possible chance of adhering or not letting any air between that carrier film area in these bits and then obviously the actual paint surface itself, because obviously if you get any air in there, it's what you get the silvering from. So the best way to do that is to gloss it. Now, many times I'll go with, if it's just a smooth finish, no problem at all. But obviously, if you've got a situation where you're putting decals down onto a very dark surface, I just want to nip everything in the bud. So I will always gloss on black. So that's what we did with this one. And we were going through. So obviously we've got those red ones underneath and the top ones all going on there. And as you can see, they went down really well. They're cartograph decals in this one. So really there's nothing to worry about with those going in. With that in place and totally dry, we gave everything a nice little satin coat right the way over it. And then we just came in with the Flory Models washes. So for this one, to be honest, dark dirt on the top, pretty standard, as you know. And then we used grime on the underside and we went around putting these on. And we spoke about, because obviously where we've glossed some areas with the decals going down, it was just a little bit beading up. So by adding a couple of drops of washing up liquid, this is the snotty stuff down in here, into the mix, then obviously it breaks the surface tension and makes it flow a lot better. So we just showed that one in that little video and we went amongst it. Then it's onto the top. So the top, straightforward, dark dirt, literally whack it over the entire thing, as you can see. So getting nice and messy. Let it totally dry. So it takes about 20 minutes to dry, half an hour. But to be honest with you, we left it overnight and went through on that one. And to be honest with you, she is here now and looking very much the part. So as you can see, we've got those in. Those decals absolutely silvering free, which is the main thing to it. And already this has just literally had another satin coat over the top of this, just to sort of give us a nice texture, because next thing for this one is going to be oils onto this as we go right the way through it. But yeah, no, very happy how it came out. All that gorgeous riveting detail shows through. We've got the panel lining into here, and then under here as well, we've done a little bit, and it gives it that nice dead feel to it. And again, depending on how much you polish the surface, as you can see, some of these areas are more polished than others, just depends on what type of effect you get with it. But very happy with it. And again, we're going to be pushing on with the actual Lancaster next week. We're going to be doing all oils, so that'll be a fun one. So it'll be a case of doing it individually. So we'll be doing oil weathering right the way over this, then we'll do it on the wings and all the bits and pieces, and then after that it'll be a case of getting it all together, because again, it is all built. The gear's all done, the props are all done, the weaponry's all done, all the clear parts, the gun turrets are all done. So once the oils are onto it, then we can actually put it together, final assembly, put it all in there, and then just do the last minute little bit of weathering just to blend the two. So obviously if we've got engines on and things like that, we've got to do staining, exhaust stains, things like that, and we can do that once it's in one piece, because it'll get a better idea of angles and things to work with. So really, it might not look it, but there's actually very little to do on the Lancaster. It's probably only going to be a couple of parts and it will be done. That's the beautiful thing about these kits. I wish all kits were like this, where it's modular, so you can just pop it down, do the decaling, it's nice and straightforward with it. Then you can put the wings on all afterwards, because say when you're working with, you know, obviously larger scales like this, and we've done a lot with 32nd this year and 24th, the biggest problem, one, is just handling it, just trying to handle it and where to grab it and all the rest of it, but also trying to get it in here with the angles with cameras and things like that is an absolute nightmare. But having it where it's in nice little sections like this is great, and then we can just pop it together at the end and we'd be good to go. So really enjoying that one. Over on the Tuesday, if we move over, we have me and Matt doing our little podcast, not quite a podcast show, and we were talking, well, pretty much everything. I think we covered lots of different things. We were talking about tools at the end of the day, and as you know, me and Matt are probably two of the worst tool hoards you can imagine. We tend to buy a load of tools, and I have got behind me those black cabinets, which are absolutely rammed with tools that I don't use. And I probably have got me showing down in here half a dozen tools that I use all the time. And then other tools, obviously, I just get them out when I'm desperate for a situation. It's nice to have lots of tools, but we were just pointing out in this particular show, you don't need them. You know, you can get away with pretty much just a handful of tools really, really cheaply and get fantastic results for them. Because sometimes the most expensive ones definitely aren't the best, you know, and sometimes some cheap options work just as well as the expensive ones as well. So anyway, that's that show as well. It's just over an hour long. Obviously, we were talking to you guys. It is live for obviously all the members to join in as well, and they're in the chat room talking along. And then Matt was talking about how his build's going at the moment. Obviously, he's working on his B25 and all the other bits and pieces. And obviously, he's now just started on his diorama, which we'll speak about in a moment. And going through all the processes. So members, if you want to catch up with anything like that, you can do. That is down on there, just there. Then over on Wednesday, we had the PM show. So me and the guys, and again, like we were saying, it's one of those things. It's literally, we've been trying to tread water, I suppose, and we've been waffling along and trying to make conversation for the last, it seems, year, but it's not. It's probably the last 3 months because we've had no kit releases. And then literally the PM store has been rammed. The warehouse is absolutely full of kits at the moment with all the new stocks coming in. So there's all these ones we had on pre-order and we've been singing on about for the last few weeks finally are starting to come in. So that's, to be honest, the gorgeous 30-second full interior, the actual Flying Tigers one there with the Curtis Hawk as well. So that's a great War Hobbies kit. We had a massive restock of pretty much everything. So if you want to catch up with that show, that one there's just over an hour as well. You can do that with me, Matt and Andy, all talking about what's new going on in the PM world and normal kit releases, what's due out, what's come in, so forth and so on. So if you're into your kit collecting as well, that's definitely the show for you. That's free to watch. Anybody can see that one. It's on social media and obviously it's on the Flory Model site if you want to catch up with that one. Thursday, it was Matt's vlog. So Matt was doing his bit. It's gonna, hold on, we haven't got him queued up totally, but Matt's show, so he's around about sort of 15 minutes on this one, talking about what he's been up to, obviously talking about the different builds he's working on, obviously that B25 we spoke about, there's a few others as well, and then he was asking for feedback and your opinion on what to do next, which a load of you have got in touch with him with, and obviously it's on the forum as well, so if you want to get involved with that one about doing a diorama and armour and things like that, because he said Matt's going to have a little bit of a break from doing aircraft for a bit, because he's done quite a few bits recently, so he's going to go back to doing a little bit of armour and working on dioramas and things like that once he's finished off on the B25. So there's that one there. Now, the part one of obviously the Wimic diorama base has gone up as well, so that one's here. As you can see, he's busy showing you right the way through. So using different products, we've got a bit of Mod Podge and a bit of sand here as well, going through about it. And again, this one, members, you can go off and see this one. It's part of the Wimic build as well. So if you want to go in the videos area, it is down in there now. So if you want to catch up with that one, you can do. Bit of a tap look. And yes, great job on that one right the way through. So all the different ones, and then obviously he's talking about the paints, and obviously he was doing the actual painted it up in primer and all the things. So if you want to go off and see that one, you can see that one right now. That's up there as well. So it is in with the Wimic build with everything else, and I think Matt definitely needs to change his filter. Just saying. Okay, so that's there. Up on, where's that? That was Thursday. The other thing as well, we do have to say on Wednesday when we were talking, we had a bit of a giggle and there was something going on in the background. This is the reason for that background giggling that was going on. I get to play. This is because my shelf collapsed a couple of days ago and I never noticed, and it was only when Matt said to me about it. I know members, you've seen this already, but for non-members, you get a clip here. This is what has happened. So yes, it's literally collapsed through and gone through and smashed a lot of stuff up and everything else. But fear not, everybody. I've got a plan for this, and this is what we're doing tomorrow morning. Part of the show is rebuilding broken and smashed kits. So yes, it literally has collapsed down in there, and we were trying to rescue them and get them all out in one bit, as you can see. And then looking at the damage, unfortunately, the carrier's taken a bit of a smash, to say the least. And yeah. Anyway, all needs a dust. Anyway, moving on from it, we're going to put all those kits together. Next week is the plan for that one. Bring you bang up to today. We've actually got the Trumpeter Sky Raider video. Again, I've wanted to build this kit for absolute ages and finally got an excuse to do it. So we're working on this one. And again, it's a great kit. It's been around a while, but it is definitely one of those really, really nice ones. And I know a lot of people sort of said about the Zucamori one, that's just a little bit over the top for me. This thing's got as much detail as that kit's got, I think, in most places, just not some of the internals, obviously. So we're going to use the Quinta Studios 3D set for this one, just to detail it all up. So in part one, it's really talking about putting the engine together, which I think was 87 bits. Parts make up the engine, so it's a full-on job with that one. And then obviously we're getting the cockpit all prepped and ready for the actual Quinta Studio set to be put in. So we went through the basics of painting all of those ones up. The next part of that will be up with you next week, and obviously that will be getting all the cockpit detail. We're going to wire up the engine as well. Then obviously it will need fully weathering and bits and pieces to it before we push on with the actual build. So lots to come on that one as well. But anyway, members, you can go off and see part one. That's up with you today. Obviously this week, full-on load of reviews. All started at the beginning of the week. We put up the review of the F-35B. And again, yes, I don't know why they all do it. They overdo the RAM stuff. And again, the whole point of RAM tape is to hide lines. And then they still put them in. It's like, really, what is the problem? But yes, it's not perfect, but it's actually better, let's face it, than the old Kitty Hawk one, which was a nightmare. So again, still not, something I would go out and think that's a perfect kit, that's all do it, because I just think the surface details are over-egged and all the rest of it. But it is a really nice detail kit. You've got all the surface textures in there in the bits and pieces, which I would personally take a sanding stick to and blend them down a little bit. But interior details, certainly the engine, the wheel wells and the weapon base, things like that, is absolutely gorgeous on that particular kit. So if you do fancy doing an F-35B, go for it. I'd say that there's definitely an A and a C version coming out of this as well, looking at the parts breakdown. So generally a very, very nice kit. And as you can see, it's actually really nice. It's just a shame about the actual overall surface texture, shall we say, when it shouldn't really have it. But generally good weapons loadout as well with this one. You've got the gun pod as an option, and you obviously got your laser guided bombs and your GPS guided bombs, as much as you've got AMRAAMs and sidewinders and things like that. So yeah, very nice indeed. A full old box full just down in there. Then we had, when's the next one? Here we are. No, sorry. Let's go back to reviews. I don't know why it's not linking. We've got the Buccaneer. So Buccaneer review went up this week. And again, there's been lots of that said about this kit. I don't tend to watch other people's reviews and stuff like that because it's one of those things. I like to do it from my point of view, not be led by the pack, so to speak. And having known about this kit for a while, talking to Pranjit about it, obviously on our shows as well here on Flory Models, we know this kit pretty well now, but it's really nice to actually see it in the flesh and go through the details on it. And it really is a very, very nice kit. I know there's comments been made on our Facebook page and that about the price of the kit. Honestly, it's not expensive because everything's going up at the moment. All kit prices are going up. And I think for a 48 scale kit, and let's face it, the Buccaneer is a lot of plastic. It's a big old kit. I think it's actually done a really, really good job on this. The details inside, the actual moulding and things like that, I think are really spot on. It's really nice to see riveting these days. Obviously I've been harping on about they need to step up and start get the riveting in. They've answered that call. It's all in there now. Again, full selection of weaponry, various bits and pieces like that. This particular kit's going to go off to Nathan. He's going to go off and do this particular one, and then we can get a little bit of feedback from him, and then hopefully in a year or two we might see the RAF version, and then I'll definitely be building that one as a full video build as well. So very, very nice indeed. But generally I have to say it looks fantastic, long awaited, and very much looks the part. So well done to Pranjit and Airfix for bringing us that great kit. Then we've actually got, if I go through, the legend that is now the Gecko KT ambulance. So we can't call it its proper name, so that's why they call it the KT one. But as I say, it is a stunning kit. And again, I know I've had comments about people saying about the Airfix one. I've got the Airfix kit here, to be honest with you, but there was no way I was ever going to do a side-by-side comparison, because I've said literally from the start of this, it is one of those things. It's like night and day. They are two completely different kits, because this one is a full detail. You build it literally from the chassis up, including building the chassis. This isn't like the Airfix kit, which is just clicks together in an afternoon. This thing is going to take some work. And as you can see, just flashing through the instructions, how detailed this kit is. And I think for the people who are out there sort of comparing it to the Airfix ones, yeah, wrong. Can't do that. It shouldn't be done like that. This is its own kit in its own rights, as is the Airfix one. It depends what type of builder you are. If you're into the full, you want to do it literally from the chassis up, then obviously you're going to go with the Gecko one with all the photo etch and the goodies that come with it. If you want more of a straightforward build, then obviously you're going to go Airfix. But to sort of put them side by side, I think is the wrong thing to do. But as you can see, beautifully done. Loads of stowage items. You get the figure with this one. You can tell it's a full breakdown kit because none of the sprues are bigger than the close-up can. As you can see, but it does look really very, very nice indeed. So if you want to go out and get your sort of teeth into something, then this is definitely the kit for you. I will be doing the Airfix one next week, but as I say, there is a gap between them deliberately because they are literally two separate kits right the way through. And it's definitely one of those ones where, say, putting them side by side, I think is just definitely the wrong thing to do. We know it's the same one, but at the end of the day, it is there. But again, Matt's going to build this one at some point in the future as well, which I don't blame him because it's absolutely stunning. So watch out for that one as a video build by Matt. He's going to be tackling that one as we make our way through. And that was this week, but it doesn't stop there. We are live with you tomorrow about 10 o'clock. We're going to be live on social media. So we'll be on the old Facebook and Instagram, YouTube and all the bits and pieces. And you can watch live. The chat rooms will be open to the public as well. So if you want to come in and comment and join in with that one, if you want to send us photos of your work as we're making our way through, we'd love to have you along as well for that particular one. So we're going to do that from 10 in the morning to around about midday. We'll have a comfort break at that point, and then we'll be back with you in the afternoon between 2 and 5. So a long stint in the afternoon. I'm going to go all the way through those. Because of my cabinet collapsing on me incident, I'm going to try and put some of them back together. And again, lots of you got in touch with me after this one saying about it'd be great if you could show it. So I'm going to do it live. So we're going to try and put the Hellcat back together, and we're going to obviously try and put the helicopter together, that little AH6. We'll get him back together as well. So it'll be lots of pinning and joining and super glue and welding them up and everything else, and maybe touch-ups with paint and things like that to put them back as is. Again, like I've always said, they're models. They come together as a kit. Just because they break, put them back together. And that's what we're going to do with this one. So hopefully you want to join in with that one. You can see that. In the afternoon, again, I know I get talking and answering questions and showing the other guys, but if I do get a chance, I'll carry on with the CL215 as well, which is definitely a stall project, shall we say, because I only seem to do that when we have live shows. The guy's going to be building and getting on with bits and pieces with that as well. So again, it would be lovely to have you along. You can join in as and when. Don't forget, we'll be recorded, so if you're not around, you can watch it at a later date as well. It'll be a free to watch video. Same time as all of that, obviously the PM store has got a sale on, which is going to go along with this, and obviously the Flory Models one will do one as well. So they've got a bank holiday special, so it's 10% off all kits, and there's going to be 25% off the selected special items, which we'll talk about tomorrow. I'm not going to talk about it today or show you what we're up to, because again, we've got some really good stuff in here. So if you do fancy popping along and getting there a little bit early, I know some of it's already gone live, but obviously the full proper kickoff will be over the weekend. So it's going to run from the 27th until Monday on the 29th. Obviously it is a bank holiday here in the UK, so if you want to get involved with that one, you can pop in there. Obviously, as you can imagine, we will plug this to death during the live shows as well. But if you're not around for it and you want to pick up a bargain, obviously pop along over to the actual PM Models UK.com site, or otherwise you can go over to the Flory Models site if you want to get your washes and your pigments and the 3 standards I think we've got left, and you can grab those as well. All right, so yes, full on, lots to do. And now I've got lots to do, so I've got to prepare all of this lot and get rid of it all, make everything weigh and get everything set up for the live show tomorrow. There won't be a show on Monday. Obviously, it's a bank holiday, and to be honest, I've got to do some family time because obviously working right the way through, working all day tomorrow. So I'm going to take Sunday and Monday off, and then we'll be back to you as normal on Tuesday, and I'll have a vlog up for you with the members' bits and pieces, where we'll be talking about obviously the end of the next SIG, because obviously the Nordic one's coming to an end, and we'll be looking at your great work as well, actually what's going on in the forum. So members, if you want to join me for that one, I'll be with you on Tuesday afternoon. Right, that's it from me. As always on a Friday, I'm going to leave you with your great work from this week's gallery. So until tomorrow, hopefully, happy modelling. Take care.
I was not ready to falling like I'm wasted.